Hi, everybody. Just wanted to welcome you to the Smart Seniors podcast series. We're going to be running this series throughout the next year or so, maybe even further, depending on how well it goes. And we're going to be inviting seniors from all across the country to participate in our videos and to bring some great content to you. So, without further ado, here's our first podcast. Well, welcome, Bob, Ebby. So glad to have you both.
Thank you.
We're happy to be here.
Great. So, Ebby, ladies first. Let's have you talk a little bit about you, and want to know where you're from, what community you're from, and how long you've lived there.
My husband and I live at the Forest at Duke in Durham, North Carolina, and we've been here almost 3 years.
Great. And so, what kind of a home do you live in? Do you live in a?
We live in a cottage. We have a 2-bedroom with a den cottage, and my husband has taken 1 bedroom for his office, and I have the den for my stitching room, and we share all that space with our wonderful cat Lily, and we love it.
That's great. Good. And Bob, would you like to introduce yourself?
I've always lived in Birmingham, Alabama, except when I was in law school at, of course, the good law school, Alabama, and when I was in the Army.
Great.
My wife is Ann, and we moved in here 5 years ago.
Great. And what community are you at, Bob?
I'm at Kirkwood by the river. It is a lovely place.
And what city are you in?
I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Great.
Kirkwood by the river. The river is the Cahaba River.
The Cahaba. Okay, great. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jason Neiman with Good Brand Company, and we are putting this series together just to do some information out there and to make sure that we're supporting our seniors and making sure that people understand some of the decisions that are made, and maybe these podcasts can also help you in making decisions as well. So let's just get started. The theme for the day that we're going to be talking about is making the decision. That's the title for today. And making the decision really is about just that, figuring out when, where, and how seniors make the decision to move to a senior living community. And we wanted to get two really experienced residents to talk about this, just because obviously if we babble on about it, it doesn't really make much sense. But if we hear it from the people that have actually moved in, it really gives a good background. So I'm gonna just do this in a Q&A format, ask a few questions, and we'll see where this is headed. So Ebby, can you talk about, in regards to making the decision, what prompted you and your husband at the time to start looking at senior living communities? What drove you to that?
Well, my husband and I, through, I would say probably the last 20 years of our marriage, have taken care of 4 elderly relatives, 2 of his, 2 of mine, who absolutely refused to leave their homes. And of course, none of them lived where we lived at that time. And it was just awful. It was too hard, too difficult. It was a strain on everybody concerned. And we just said, we're not doing that. We're not doing that to our children. And while we're able, we are going to figure out where we want to be. So after my husband retired in 2011, we continued to live in Houston, Texas for 2 or 3 more years after that. We have a daughter in Washington, D.C. Didn't want to go there because of the traffic. A son, his wife in Manhattan, not living in Manhattan, and a daughter and her family in Raleigh. So we decided, okay, we'll move to Raleigh. When we moved to Raleigh and we were there a couple of years and started looking at CCRCs. And our prime focus, because of our experience, was we wanted a place that had really good continuing health care. There are so many places that do senior living, but they're not doing the continuum of health care. And that was most important to us. And we felt in our looking that the forest was the place for us. And we came on before we got too old to enjoy everything that it has to offer. I think people wait too late to come into the, because honest to Pete, Jason, I don't do anything I don't want to do. I
Right.
have time to do exactly what I want. And somebody else is cooking, cleaning, and doing the yard. And it's heaven.
That's great. And Bob, how about you? What was your experience that prompted you to decide that it was time?
Well, my wife has also not, she has Parkinson's. And as it progressed, it got harder and harder for her to take care of me.
Right, right.
So we started looking, and we looked at a number of places around Birmingham and in the adjacent communities, and we found Kirkwood. And it is a great place. It's, as I told you, it's on the river.
Hmm.
And Ann and I loved going on the river. We could go to the river from where we live,
Oh, wow.
and we lived in 20 acres of woods. And so this was like coming home. And we wanted to do it. We wanted to make the decision ourselves and not have our children do it. And so we decided, with Sandy's help, to come here. And it's just a wonderful place to be. We have too many activities, but you don't have to do them all.
Right. You get to choose, right?
Yeah, you do.
Absolutely.
And they've gone on a trip today up to what's known as Gorham's Bluff, which is about 2 hours away. And I've been there before, and so I know it's a lovely place.
And so we kept you from going.
No, you did not. I would not have gone anyway.
Well, let me ask you, Bob, I'll let you lead this question off. How much did you and your wife know about senior living, the industry, before you made the decision to move?
Well, not really much. Like I say, we had visited several places. We had one place we visited. We even won a big TV.
Oh, wow.
and but we didn't move there. But so we visited a lot of places. We didn't really know anybody
Right.
in senior living, but we knew it was something we were going to have to do eventually. And like I say, we wanted to do that ourselves.
Right. Great. And Abby, how about you? How much did you know about senior living?
Not a whole lot, but we knew that such a thing existed. And we also knew that there was a difference between what you're calling seniors living and
Right.
a CCRC.
Right.
And we were not looking, quote, for senior living. We were looking for continuing health care, because eventually, God willing, that all of us are going to need that. The forest has fabulous senior living as well as the continuum of health care that my husband and I were looking for. Like I said, we just were determined that we were going to find our spot, like Bob and his wife, and we were going to go there while we still could make the decision ourselves. And we feel, and our children have told us, that this is the greatest gift that we could give them, because they are not worried about us. We had a big snowstorm here in Durham back in December. And our children, of course, were calling, how are y'all? And I said, look, they are out here, before the last flake fell, cleaning the roads, shoveling our driveways, shoveling our sidewalks.
That's great.
It could have been easier.
Right. That's great. And so, you talked a little bit about the gift to the family, and that's a reoccurring theme that we hear throughout the industry from residents. But when you had the discussion with your family, I know, little conversations happen, but Ebby, when you had the conversation with your family, how did you tell them that you had made the decision to move to a senior living community, and what was their response to that?
They were relieved, quite frankly. I mean, they were very happy for us. There was
Right.
no hesitation on their parts. We, of course, the forest has a wonderful website and all that, and the children that could not be here to come through themselves, we're checking it out on that. The forest, it has an excellent reputation in the area. So they were very, very happy for us, and quite frankly, relieved for themselves, because nobody is going to call them in the middle of the night and say, hey, you need to come see because your mama just fell down the steps and broke her hip.
Right.
Because they'll call them here and let them know, but they're going to say, but we have taken her to the hospital, or we have done X, or we have done Y. And it's peace of mind, plus all the fun things you get to do when you're here before you fall down the steps and before you need health care. It's, like I said, it's liberating. It's absolutely liberating, and I can't say enough that people wait too late to come.
Right. And Bob, how about you? How did you share it with your family, and what was their response?
Well, they knew we were looking, and they were, excuse me, they were happy for us to do it. And one of our boys and his family live in Atlanta, and I ain't moving to Atlanta.
Hey, brother, I'm moving to Manhattan.
And the other one lives in Greensboro, North Carolina. He's at the college there. And so they can both get here. Matter of fact, I have fallen once and had to be taken to this is before we moved. I fell and I had to get somebody to take me to the emergency room, and they immediately called Bob, and he was there before they dismissed me.
Oh, wow.
So, but here I did fall one time, and I was a bloody mess. I fell on my face, and the people here, I had more staff people helping me, stopping the bleeding and all that stuff, and taking me to the emergency room. And they brought me back here, and I was just taken care of.
Wow, that's great. That's really great.
And the one, I don't know whether Evie said this or not, but the good thing about being at a place like this is that if we have to go to assisted living or nursing care or to memory care, we don't even have to walk out of the outside. We can walk to those places indoors.
Right. And that's a great point. That's something that a lot of people don't know. As we refer to CCRC, or continuing care retirement community, or in some other communities, as in the as Kirkwood by the River, they refer to themselves as a life plan community. And that's the misconception, is a lot of people think these communities are, assisted living centers or nursing homes. And they don't understand that there's vibrant life, there's independent living, there's a lot of socialization, there's coming and going from the community. People don't, they don't have to check themselves out or have family members come and say, hey, I'm here to take my mom somewhere. It is a very independent style life. And to your points earlier, both of you can do as little or as much as you would like on a daily basis. And I think that's really one of the benefits. But ultimately, long-term, the goal is to say, as care is needed, that's where these communities really shine. They have the different areas that you can go to, but in addition to that, it's either discounted or no rate increase, depending on what kind of a community you're looking at. So, so it's really great, and it's something that we firmly believe in.
Jason, I just add one thing.
Sure.
About halfway from here to where we used to live, which would be about 4 miles, they're building a big thing that I wondered what it was. And somebody told me it was an assisted living. not going to have independent living, not going to have everything that we have here.
Wow.
You know, so those people, when they get to a bad point, they're going to want to come here.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Or the hospital, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
right. Let's talk about when you moved into your community. Bob, you were 5 years ago, is that right?
4 or 5, I forget
4 or
which.
5. Was the community, how did you integrate into the community? Was it an easy integration? Was it difficult? Did it take time? How did that go for you?
I thought it was pretty easy. We had visited a couple of times here. Sandy had shown us around, and we moved in, and she had suggested a mover, and the mover just moved us in and hung up all the pictures and put the furniture where it was supposed to go. And it was just, it wasn't any, when we got over here from our house, it was all done. And then we went to eat, and I mean, it couldn't have been easier.
That's great. And Evie,
and
what about you? What about you with the people? How are the people, your
They're
first week, you get to a community, and how does that go?
They are fabulous. We are so, Wes and I say all the time that the best thing about being in Forest are the people. We have the most accomplished residents, and nobody toots their own horn. I mean, we have a resident here that discovered one of the primo cancer drugs. Well, he doesn't tell you about it. You learn from somebody else. Oh, well, that's what he did. At any rate, people here are so welcoming. We did not know any other residents here. We have tons of really, really close friends. Everybody here is very, very open, very welcoming. They are open to different points of view. We're from all over the country because of our, I think in large part because of our proximity to Duke and being here in the Research Triangle. We have a lot of Duke professors. We have a lot of Duke doctors. But we also have just a lot of people from all over that have come that have perhaps, like we, have children in the Triangle area or just wanted to get out of the ice and snow from up north.
Right.
But it's so open, so really, really welcoming. Absolutely. We have felt that from the get-go and have loved it.
Great. And what are some of the things that you're involved in? Obviously when people make the decision to move to a community, they have a plethora of things that they can get involved in. What are some of the things that you and your husband are involved in?
Well, as you asked, this has been a real week for change, particularly for my husband. He has been asked to take over the term as president of the Residents Association here. Our former president had to resign for personal reasons, and Wes was asked by the board to take over as president of the Residents Association. I have for the past 2 years, almost 2.5, been chairman, and now I'm co-chair because mercifully I was able to pull in another resident of what we call the Encore store, which is a resale shop that people that move here that have brought too much stuff with them, or families when their loved ones pass away and don't take all the things, they donate those things to the Encore store. All of our residents and staff are welcome to shop there. We have fantastic prices, and 100% of the money we make goes to our benevolent fund.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Nobody here is ever asked to leave.
Right.
And so the money goes to the benevolent fund, and it's great fun. We love it, and you really get to know tons of people by working in the Encore store.
It's almost like a second career, right?
Absolutely. People ask me, "Oh, were you in retail?" And I go, no, I wouldn't. I just love it. I really do. I love our customers. I love my committee. It's just way fun.
That's great. And what about you, Bob? What different things are you involved with? Hobbies or even part of the committees or anything like that?
Well, I'm in my second term as president of the Residents Association, and I hope it's my last, but I don't. Sandy just gave me a dirty look. uh, but and it's nothing. I meet with the staff occasionally, and we've got a great CEO who is just works wonders. He knows everything. I wouldn't have his job for $1 million. Well, I don't know, maybe for $1 million. But then I play bridge once a week, and with some great bridge players, a lot better than I am. And then I'm a kind of a photographer of wildflowers and birds. And I do a lot. I've done some programs here for the residents about wildflowers, not only in Alabama, but all over the South, and the birds too. And before we moved here, we had an RV, and we used to travel all the time. We'd go out to Texas, and went down to Mexico one time, and I got to take a lot of pictures.
That's great.
And
and I'm sure you share those with the residents, right?
Oh yes, I have.
That's great.
So, and we have great programs here. We've got a activities director that I call the Energizer Bunny. She just goes and goes.
That's great.
I have to tell you about really what I believe is a unique activity for CCRC. We just completed it here at the forest. One of our residents is an avid arborist, and felt that we had some sugar maples on our campus. Sure enough, we got them in. We did. We put together a committee, and we tapped sugar maples, gathered the sap, cooked the sap down, and then at one of our weekly socials, we have a social on Friday afternoons, we had the maple syrup social, and they got the little bitty bottles, little bitty plastic cups, like you would be given pills in or something like that. And everybody got a teaspoon of the homemade maple syrup.
Wow, that's great.
Absolutely delicious. And it was just really a fun thing for the community. My husband was a photographer. He put together a slideshow so that everybody that wasn't directly involved in it could see the process. So it really
that is really neat. That's great. What a unique thing too, I mean, it's unique to your community. It's not something that you can get just anywhere. That's something that you can only do there.
Well, I wouldn't have, who would have thought maple syrup from North Carolina, but there you go.
There you go. That's a new one. I'm going to ask you just a couple more questions, because you guys have both been great so far, and I would love to spend another hour with you both, but I don't know if we could expect the viewers to watch that much more time. But can you talk a little bit, Abby, go ahead, you go first, but can you talk a little bit about how your life has changed? What's changed from the moment when, you decided to move in to where you're at right now? What are the differences?
The absolute peace of mind and the absolute freedom from what's for dinner tonight. I love it. That was one of my favorite things about it. And not having to go to the grocery store if I don't want to. Just things like that were just, I was a homemaker all my life. We had these 3 children, and I was fortunate enough to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. But I tell you, after a while, I got tired, when they were all grown and gone. It's been wonderful to have, to know that the mundane tasks of everyday life are taken care of. I don't have to do any of that. And my husband doesn't either. And we're able to pursue the hobbies we want to, as well as my work with Encore. I'm a mentor here at the forest, so that when new people move in, kind of can get with them one-on-one and kind of help them along their way.
Sure.
Also, I'm an avid reader and an avid needle pointer. So I have the time to do the stuff that I want to do.
That's great. And I can tell why you're the mentor too. You definitely got that nurturing spirit, which is great. And Bob, how about you? How's your and your wife's life changed for you?
Well, because of her Parkinson's disease, it has changed more because of that than anything else.
Sure.
But it's nice to be here where I don't have to worry about taking care of her. They have caregivers you can hire, and we do that. And she doesn't have to worry about cooking meals or washing the dishes or
Right.
anything like that. And the staff here is just so amazing. And I don't say that just because Sandy is sitting next to me, but she knows that too. And we've got a great staff. We have a dining room downstairs. Well, it's kind of from here, it's upstairs and then downstairs. But they have great meals, and the food is excellent. And it has changed. Ann doesn't have to plan the meals, and she doesn't have to cook them, and she doesn't have to put up with me cooking them either.
I hear you. Okay, so one last question for both of you, and I'll let you start. What's been the best part of moving to the community, and as it pertains to making that decision to move? What's been the best part?
I guess just not having to worry about anything.
Yeah.
You're here, and they take care of whatever you need, and I guess that's the main thing.
How about you, Abby?
More or less the same thing, the peace of mind, but also the people. Being able to just on the spur of the moment sit with other couples at lunch, to have peers as friends, not our children's friends. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's wonderful to have people that are at your age and stage of life, to be friends. You share so much. And the friendships here have been absolutely wonderful, as well as the peace of mind.
That's great.
And our staff here is fabulous. Our dining staff, our maintenance staff, our staff down at health and wellness, and I've gotten to know so many of these folks because they are my customers down at Encore.
Sure.
I mean, of course, I would know my housekeeper, but I wouldn't know everybody else's housekeeper. But I do, because they shop at Encore, and it's been a blessing. It really, really has.
Great. Well, I would love both of you to be on a future recording with us for a podcast. You're both amazing. I appreciate your candid responses. I appreciate your positivity, and I'm sure that the people that are going to be watching this are really going to appreciate the insights that you've given. I certainly have. And again, I want to thank you both for the time you've spent. Any last words you'd like to give, or should we just sign off and say goodbye?
I just want to say, don't wait too late.
Yeah.
Don't wait too late.
And yeah, you don't want to wait too late. We have people who come here because their children made them come here, and you don't want to wait that long.
Right.
You want to do it on your own. And I can't let you get away with talking about your staff, because our staff has got to be better than yours.
I will manage your staff and raise you staff.
One thing we didn't anticipate is the competitive streaks within our lovely residents here. And I'm sure, what's funny is the staffs would probably have the same sentiment. And what we'll end up doing is, I'm sure, like by the 12th podcast that we do, we'll have 4 or 5 different communities, and probably what's going to end up happening is we're going to have like a national contest of some sort to see who's got the best. We'll do like a national Jeopardy or something online with the staff to see what happens. But again, I'd love to thank you both, and really appreciate your time more than anything. And I look forward to seeing you both at your communities. I know that I'll be coming to visit both of your communities very soon, and I'll make sure that we set up a one-on-one so that I can say hi to you in person. It would be great to meet you.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much, and have a great day, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.